asked for it. Here it is. So here's the 80 series rundown. So this has been a really requested video from a lot of you guys. So let's dive right into it. Righto guys, let's start with bar works. Up the front we've got a Aussie Roo bull bar. So this is quite similar to your ALBs and your TJMs, but this is the cheaper one on the market at the time. I've absolutely loved it. It looks good, it's tough, gives me all the protection I need, especially around the headlights and the front of the car. So these are the Aussie Roo side steps as well. So these are, they've got a checker plate top, they're bent tubing, they're chassis mounted as well. These have been tough as I've been on rocks on them and stuff, but the tops of them have seen better days now, so we're going to be pulling them off soon and giving them a strip back and paint, but other than that, they've been good. Righto guys, so now moving around the back of the car, we are running the Cruiser Company rear bar. So this guy is doing absolutely amazing work out of his shed in Melbourne. So basically what struck us about this bar was that you have the ability to run either two spares or a bolt-on jerry. So he actually sells these bolt-on jerrys separately. So we went with a bolt-on jerry so we could have the water set up at the back, which we'll show you after. But this bar has been absolutely fantastic. It looks great. It's chassis mounted also in the wheel arches. So I'll show you that. As you guys can see, it's chassis mounted in the wheel arch. So that provides extra strength on either side. So I see a lot of the rear bars, if you end up knocking here, this bar will flex and go into your flare and damage your flare. So what we really liked about here is if you do or were to smack up on your rear bar, it wouldn't flex too much because it is chassis mounted here. On the back of the Cruiser Company rear bar as well, we run a PM canvas dirty bin bag and tyre cover. So this has been absolutely fantastic. I can't recommend this company enough. Nathan's an awesome bloke, and him and his partner are doing some amazing things. So in the back of here we've had wood, rubbish, absolutely everything you can think of, and it's held up great. This is a couple of years old now, so it's absolutely been fantastic and held up well. So up the top we've got a Super Santa rack. So this was actually a full length wrap that we got pretty cheap, but we cut it down at work, so that's been alright so far. It's gutter mounted, probably do with a clean soon, but it's been fantastic so far. So let's move around to inside the engine bay. There's not too much in there, but there's enough to talk about. Under the bonnet, it's a 1HZ with a turbo kit on it. So the turbo kit we went with was a JB turbo kit. So I believe they run a standard CT26 with a high float center. So it only runs about 12 pounds of boost, but for what we need and how we're touring around, we found 12 pounds is absolutely perfect for what we need. Some other things under the bonnet, we have a HPD catch can. So this is just bit of preventative maintenance for the older girl. We also run a Glint heat exchange system. So this is absolutely awesome bit of kit. So what we do with this is on long trips, it acts as our shower system. So it runs a heat exchanger. So this top section is basically the heat exchanger itself. You've got an inlet and outlet. It's plumbed into obviously the block, being a heat exchanger. We've got a 12-volt pump on this side, so basically it's a simple flick of the switch. If you've got a water supply and your car is at operating temperature and full of diesel, you will always have hot water with this system. From the turbo we have a PPD 3-inch stainless steel exhaust, so this is with the muffler. Gives a nice note and it's not too noisy, which is good, and it's not as drony on long trips as well. So good bit of kit for the price we pay. So we run just the factory airbox, plumbed in obviously to our turbo kit, and then plumbed into the stainless steel snorkel by Axis Fabrication. Other than that, not too much other engine work. We run a factory turbo crossover, which we run boost T into. But other than that, just regular maintenance, and they look after you. All right, moving on the interior. So there's a fair bit to talk about in here, so we'll dive straight into it. All right, let's start at the middle of the 80. So basically where we spend a lot of our time driving and on the road. We wanted a second fridge in the center console, so what we've done is we've gone with a Mech 3D CF11 fridge console. So this incorporates all the factory mounts, all the factory gear. Awesome bit of kit. So this allows us to not have to modify anything or put anything anywhere else. It comes with 2 switches and a USB port, and also a cool phone holder. So we've got the black version, but they do a grey as well. Up on the windscreen we have a iPad mount, which we run on longer trips for HEMA and those sort of things, and we also have a GoPro mount for the GoPro when we're filming inside the cab. Down here we run our EGT and our boost gauge, so we wanted to keep the gauges out the way, so that's why we've opted to have them on an angled bracket down here instead of up on the pillar. So and another thing for us, it keeps the light out of our face when we're driving. So down here we have our GME 80 channel UHF, so it's the TX3350 bottle. So it comes with the handpiece as well, which is really cool. You can turn it off and on by there, and scan and change your channel and volume from there as well. But that's paired up to a Oricom 6.6 dB aerial at the front of the car. Another thing we run in the interior of the 80 series is the 1 stone armrest. So these are actually for 70 series Land Cruisers that we have modified for the 80 series GXL door card. So we run a full set of these. So for long trips, they're absolutely fantastic. And you fellow 80 series owners know the situation with the cup holders. So this gives us an extra 4 because we still have the rear seats in, which we'll show you soon. These absolutely change the game, especially with the padding as well. On long trips, it makes everything a breeze. Excuse the mess in the back of the car. This is literally back from camping. So we run the Razorback seat covers with the Razorback 4x4 rear seat organizer. This keeps everything together and saves the clutter out the front. So in here we keep a bunch of different things, including some Nebo torches, fan, wipes, tire gauge, all those sort of things you'd have to usually dig around for. Up the top, there's not a lot going on, but we run the aftermarket Get a Grip custom grip handles. So they're doing some fantastic things. They do custom grip handles, camera straps, and all sorts of other things. But one thing that I really wanted to mention that I touched in actually on Instagram was this. So we always struggled with trying to find a place to put pillows. So I actually saw this, I actually think it was on Facebook, and someone had put some paracord in between, or some Oki straps I should say, in between their 2 handles as so. And basically I wanted to see what it was like, and these are 60 centimeter straps from Bunnings. I think you get them in a 2-pack, and these keep our pillows up the top and out the way lengthways. So that has absolutely changed the game. I would never think a pair of Oki straps could do and make things so much easier. So that keeps a little less clutter on the seats, and yeah, them nice and clean up there as well. We still have our back seats in, but on the back seat we just keep our things like the compressor, the Max Tracks in the bag, the table and the chair. Not really anything else goes in there. The floor, there's nothing really on the floor, but like people know, with a wagon you kind of struggle with space, and with the drawer system we don't have a lot of room up the back, which I will show you. Up on the false wall we have a couple of Grab Me Gear zip pockets, and also we've actually put the Grab Me Gear dash organizer up there. So this keeps just things like more torches and other stuff. We actually keep medicine and all sorts of other stuff in one of them, and the other one has another set of tire deflation gauges and a few other bits and pieces. In the back of the 80 we run a triple stacked drawer system. We've got a box on either side, so this in here houses all the cords and electrics, stuff that you want to get hidden. In this side we keep spares. These keep all of our camping stuff, so we'll show you what's organised in the drawers after. We've got the fridge slide, and underneath that we've got a fridge box, so I'll show you how that works. So on here we prep for cooking and all sorts of other stuff, and inside we've got a room for all all of our essentials, so aluminium foil, cling wrap, coffee, tea, sugar, the whole lot you'd need to get at quick, especially if you are on the roadside as well. I wanted a bit of space on top of the drawers for things as well, so we have 2 of these boxes, one here and one behind it. This top section is just for all the dry food and all the pantry stuff. Behind that we keep waters. On this side we keep both of our clothes bags, so these are the grab me gear square bags. They keep all of our clothes on long trips, and we've done 2-3 weeks out of them at a time, so these are absolutely fantastic bit of kit. We'll show you all of that stuff in a separate video as well. Up the top we've got where we keep our blankets, so we have the same sort of Oki system set up between the grab handles up top, so that's where we can shove our doona and keep all that out the way. In this bottom drawer we basically keep all of the camping stuff that we need to get to often. So we've got some spices here, we've got the cooker at the bottom, the wind deflector, the pan, all your utensils, so we've got all your egg rings and all sorts of stuff here, bin bags, toilet roll, and we've got, when the winter kicks around, we've got some welding gloves there, good for handling camp ovens and stuff. In this middle section is basically pots and pans, so this is the cleaning up bag. This is it's got the billy in it and a few other bits and pieces like fire lighters, mosquito coils, and at the back we've got all of our pots and pans and bowls. In the top drawer we have some stuff that we don't need to get to too often, but we do as well, so it's a bit of mix of everything. So we've got a dustpan and broom for the rooftop tent, a small shovel, a camp oven, got to have your a cooker, some sand pegs, some sandwich bags, and we've also got a 12-volt pump in there as well, just in case. Everyone knows in an 80 series you've got a lot of wasted space in the tailgate, so what we've gone with is a Hurricane Fabrication Tailgate Storage Kit. So these are absolutely fantastic. I keep all my spares, everything in here was in this top drawer that I've now freed up the top drawer space. In here we keep absolutely everything to do with spares almost. So in here we've got screwdrivers, hammers, tent pegs, spanners, sockets, spare pole, coolant, spare belts, spare thermostats, spare timing belt tensioners and timing belt, axes, everything you can think of we've got. So moving into the Gullwings, so this is where we spend majority of our time as well. Besides obviously in the front 2 seats traveling around, in here is basically our control panel and a few other bits and pieces, so let's run through it. We have the Red Arc BCDC 1225D, so that's paired up with our 300 watt Atom Power solar panel on the roof. This has been fantastic, especially with the solar input, keeps the battery nice and tip-top charge. We've got a control panel here with a fridge attached to it, some lights, the cigarette socket obviously to charge your phones and accessories, and all those sorts of things. Here we have the extra solar input, so this is a secondary input, so basically if I want to run more solar or disattach the one from the roof, I can run like a flexi panel and run that out. This circuit breaker here is for the 1000 watt PowerTech inverter. This 1000 watts has been good for charging camera equipment and a few other bits and pieces. This is a grab me gear pouch, so we have all of our camera gear in here. We keep like spare batteries, cables for the GoPros, cables for the speakers, bits and pieces like that, so that's really handy to have there, especially when we know where it all is and all organized. Up the top we've got stubby holders. You always got to have places for stubby holders, so we had a little bit of extra space up the top which we use for the stubby holders. On the left side we keep our patches, speaker, a few lights, bottle openers, and also our GoPro charging dock, which we plug in obviously to the SIG socket when we want to charge the batteries up. There's not too much going on in this Gullwing. Basically we just have some recovery gear, the dry bag for our dirty clothes when we're on trips, and the fake grass that goes basically underneath the ladder, so we can kick our feet off and stuff. And up here we usually just keep the camera gear, so yeah, so all the drones and all that sort of stuff stays up here, and it keeps it nice and secure. secure. For keeping everything charged, we run a iTech World lithium battery. This has been absolutely fantastic. We haven't run lithium for very long, but from what we've experienced, especially on the recent trip we've had, we've kept the 2 fridges absolutely tip-top and kept everything powered. So the BCDC looks after that battery, obviously, as well as the alternator and the solar. So it's been absolutely fantastic so far, and we couldn't recommend it enough. The switch couldn't have been any easier as well, as a direct replacement. On the roof, we have a 300 watt ATEM power solar panel. So this keeps that battery tip-top charge, and also it used to be a folding panel used to run out, but we have hard mounted it to the tent. So this is absolutely fantastic, especially when you're driving. It keeps everything tip-top. All right, guys, let's work on lift and tires. Underneath the car, we run a 2-inch fulcrum suspension, so it's their big bore series. There's not a lot going on underneath, but they're just a true 2-inch kit with 2-inch coils, 2-inch shocks, and we also run the fulcrum radius arms. So these are the 3-inch corrected arms, so they've got built-in caster correction, just for that bit of extra correction when you go get it all married up. And we also run a enduro shock absorber, like steering dampener, sorry. For our rim and tyre setup, we run the Road Cruiser RA3 2000. So they are the mud terrain tyre. They've been good so far. They're not too noisy on the road. Coming into winter now, we'd be really keen to test them out. We've got 5 of them, so we've got a spare as well on the rear swing arm, as you probably see. We run a Dynamic Circle Neg 22 offset 16-inch steel rim. These have been fantastic, and for my 80 in the flares, Neg 22 is absolutely perfect. So it gives me enough deflation on the tracks as well. Alright guys, so this is what we do for water when we go away. So these are 2 20-litre Pro-Equip jerrys. A lot of you guys will be familiar with these, but probably going to ask, what's this hanging off the side? So this is for the on-tap system. So in a nutshell, this is a pump built into a jerry on a switch that feeds you flowing water. So I'll give you a rundown on how that works. So over here, we've just got a switch. We've actually put an Anderson plug on these, so they usually just come out with the cigarette socket, but for our application, the Anderson plug suited us best. So a simple flick of the switch. You've got your hose here. You can pick your desired setting. For us, basically having the flowing water, say you got sandy feet at the beach or you're doing dishes, it's absolutely fantastic for those sorts of things. And you know, you could even go as far as using it as a shower when the temperature of the water is good. So we're still testing this out, but it's absolutely incredible, been incredible so far on our recent trip we went away with. Up the top, we run a Bushwhacker 270-degree awning extreme. So this has been absolutely fantastic. We used to use one of those pull-out awnings by Kings. That was alright, but with the wagon, the 270, having it wrap around all the way to the back is absolutely incredible. So if you're in the market for an affordable 270, I highly recommend the Bushwhacker. So up the top, we run a Bushwhacker hardtop rooftop tent. So this is like your slimline version. This hasn't hit the market yet. We've been lucky enough to do some testing with it. They're hoping to get these out this year sometime, but we've had nothing but good reviews about it. It's been absolutely fantastic, especially being high up when you're camping is absolutely awesome. Righto guys, well there's the wrap up for the 80 series. We really hope you enjoyed. If you did like the video, be sure to subscribe and like, and let me know your thoughts. I know we didn't go too much into detail and specifics, but I'm hoping to get certain videos of those specifics out. For example, the storage, how we keep things organized, and also the electrics and a few other bits and pieces. So if you guys are keen to see those in separate videos, definitely let me know. So yeah guys, thanks for watching. Righto guys, here we are. This is the 80 series rundown. You guys have asked for it, so let's dive right into it. No, dive. So up the top we have the... Righto, so around the back of the car, we are running the Cruiser Company rear bar. So this guy operates out of his shed out in Melbourne, so really